The winter transfer window is rapidly approaching. There are some things that Barcelona need to take care of. They need to get rid of some players as well as bring in some new guys in. So we're gonna talk about this and much more in this video. If by any means you're interested in cheap, reliable footballing kits, be sure to check out Antigua. Links are gonna be in the description down below. They provide worldwide coverage, which is one of the best things I can recommend about them, as well as secure payment options to ensure that you get the best service possible. They're the main reason why I'll be able to provide you with giveaways in the future, so be sure to check them out. You get the deal, you know the drill, but now let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we'll be focusing on those players which I feel should depart the club to make space for some new players to come in. So if you're excited, let's get right into it. So the first player which I think should depart the club is Denis Suarez. Denis Suarez is a player which I've had kind of like a roller coaster of emotions with him. For most of his time at Barcelona, I have enjoyed the player. I really see him as a high potential profile player that can hopefully someday be something at Barcelona. But then sometimes I just don't really care. And that is because he doesn't have the continuity to make the fans or me, you know, feel fond of him, to not really get to know him better. And that's the main problem with him this season. He has only played a game against Cultural Leones and then a preseason against Spurs, and then probably like 10 minutes or even less. That is not good enough for a player of his caliber, and especially with the teams now that are taking a look at this guy, like Chelsea, like AC Milan, and like Napoli. I feel that he will be much better appreciated somewhere else. Not saying that he's not good enough for Barcelona, but certainly he has so much more potential that right now in Barcelona it's not being utilized. So if I were him, I would depart the club, and more importantly, we'll be able to get a good sum out of him, and I just will be very happy to see him succeed at another club. The next player which I feel should also leave is Thomas Vermaelen. Thomas Vermaelen has been a player which constantly is hindered by injuries, and when you're in a club like Barcelona, you're the fourth center back, you need to be ready to step up whenever time needs be. And right now we just have Lenglet and Piqué and nobody else, because Vermaelen is not ready. He's not ready yet because he's injured, and that's not good enough. You need to be there whenever ever needs to be. You need to be there. And if injuries are a problem for him, then I don't see a future for him at Barcelona. And most importantly, he's 31 years old, or 32 actually. So we must be better off with somebody else. So in that sense, Vermaelen, I feel, should depart the club. I think it will be harder to find someone which we actually want the player. There are some rumors that Fenerbahce, Besiktas, or Istanbul Başakşehir, some Turkish club, is interested in him. So I will start looking somewhere else to see what we can do with Thomas Vermaelen. A loan would be a very bad move, but I just want him out of our books right now because he has still time to give more to another club, but for Barcelona he's not good enough. And now we turn on the page and talk about those players which I feel should come to Barcelona. Certainly one of them could be Matthias de Ligt or Frankie de Jong. These are two players which I already talked about in depth a lot in the past few weeks, so I don't want to mention too much about them. But right now the move seems just too hard to happen in this winter transfer window. With Ajax qualifying to the knockout stages of the Champions League, probably, like, I don't think there's going to be a massive disaster. They're playing really good. I feel they will qualify. Then that move is probably not going to happen. So in that sense, we need to find some alternative to them out there in the market for now. And one of them could be Kalidou Koulibaly. It seems that Barcelona are interested in this guy for a very long time, and he's someone which I actually highly praise. He has a similar player profile to Piqué, but he's a little bit more agile and has that little bit more stamina with him. He doesn't have that striker instinct like Piqué has, but aerially he's equally as good, and he's a very good established center back, one of the best in fact in the world right now. We need somebody like them right now. We need a top 3 center back, and Koulibaly coming in alongside MDT will make a perfect partnership. And in that sense, go out all for him. It seems that it will be around 70 million euros to try and get this guy, which in that sense it's a little bit much, but he's just an impact player that will come in and take them out from Piqué, which right now just is not good enough. And now one of the players which you feel completely maybe like, what is this guy talking about, is Unai Simon. Unai Simon is the Atletico Bilbao goalkeeper that basically saved their asses in that 1-1 draw against obviously Bilbao in the Camp Nou. And he's one of the main reasons why Bilbao were able to get a point away from that game, because he was outstanding. His ability of playing out the feet is also very, very impressive, especially taking into account that he comes from a camp like Bilbao, where their philosophy is completely different to the one of Barcelona. But you may be saying, you already have Jasper Cillessen. Why didn't you talk about him before, or why do you want him out of the club? Well, Jasper Cillessen for me is such a good goalkeeper. He's up there with not the best goalkeepers in the world, but he's really, really good. And I just feel we're wasting him at Barcelona. He's really, really good. He's much better than a substitute goalkeeper. I feel fortunate to have him. I really, really do. But when you just see him play with Netherlands, when you just see him playing Copa del Rey, he's outstanding. And we're wasting him. For God's sake, I'm a Barcelona fan. I love Barcelona, but I love football most. And I want the best for footballers as well. And right now, Jasper Cillessen, do we really need that good goalkeeper? Yes, we need him, but he may be so better utilized somewhere else. And we will be able to get a huge money for him, to be able to get someone like Koulibaly and still have money for the Elite and the Young in the summer. And then we could also buy this guy Unai Simon, which will be relatively cheap, I think, especially now that he's not yet booming. But he's a guy, a young goalkeeper, which could be our third choice goalkeeper if you want it. But then most importantly, he will be able to be that good backup whenever we need him. And like I said, he's playing from the ground. He's really good. With his feet, he's also very decent. So Unai Simon for me could be a guy we could try to get in, but obviously it's not going to happen because Barcelona are not going to let go of Jasper Cillessen. But I just wanted to mention here because I didn't want to make a video about it, but it's a good place where I can talk about it. And I am recording this after basically all the recordings I made for this video. And that is because I heard now that Adrian Rabiot could be a possible option to get in the winter transfer window. He can certainly have that distribution ability, looks very similar to Busquets, tall, lanky player. So in that sense, he would adapt, I guess. But I'm not the biggest fan of Rabiot. However, if you are, let me know once again. But right now it seems that PSG have told Rabiot in the coming up, right now to December, he has his time to figure out if he wants to renew with the club or he wants to leave for a free agent. So if he doesn't renew with PSG, which is the most likely option, then I feel Barcelona and Eric Vidal are going to be right away there to try and sign the player on a free contract coming up next summer. And it just adds a lot more juice into what I mentioned from Frankie de Jong on another video about him possibly moving to Manchester City, because if we're looking to sign Rabiot, I think that the board is just going to take it because he's going to be free and plus he's going to be a much more established player. So I'm a little bit worried because even though Rabiot could be an amazing player for us, I don't know. I just don't really feel the guy, you know?